All right, what's up, everybody? So, a little bit late, actually, right on time. That's perfect. So, I'm kind of just going to be doing like Q&A. I went on Twitter, went on like other social medias, and like I posted a link so people could ask questions. Hopefully, we get some questions like in the actual chat. But if not, I'm prepared anyway because I have questions. And this is some like going live like this, something that I'm enjoying doing quite a bit lately. This is my third day in a row like going live. And like even though the audience isn't like that big yet, I really do love it. I'm about to go put it on social media right now that I'm live. Let's see. Officially live. But no, I was looking at the questions that like I have so far, and I'm actually like really excited to like answer some of these. But hopefully I get a lot of questions like in the actual chat. Let's see. All right. So about to start answering questions, but it's like a lot of them are about crypto, which I found like I mean it was kind of expected it would kind of go that way because crypto is something I talk about like a lot. But the first question, let's see. What will I do if Bitcoin crashes? So something I've actually thought about a lot. Like obviously if it crashes, I would simply just like put more money into Bitcoin and then like once it comes back, because historically what we are seeing is that every time that you see like a massive crash that Bitcoin like takes, it always ends up going back where it was previously. So I'm really not worried about like a significant crash. But like long term wise, something that I am hoping to do is that when you look at what Bitcoin like if you look at the money you put into Bitcoin, let's say someone invests like, $100 into it, and then it grows into like, $180. If they take that $100 they initially put in after and just leave the $80 in, you're still like have money in the cryptocurrency and you're still building, but it's not actual money that like you had before. So you take out all the risk at that point. And that's something that I'm trying to do like long term. Like I made my initial crypto investment, like I ended up selling it once it hit like 40K, fell back down, like I invested again into it. But it's like through what like through that, what I'm hoping happens is I plan like once my money is like completely doubled, which is just a few more thousand Bitcoin has to get to, and I've doubled my money. But once it does that, once it gets to that point, I'm gonna take out the initial investment I put in there and just let my gains, go from there. So if we do see like a huge crash that Bitcoin takes, and I lose, all the money I have in Bitcoin, it's not going to be that big of a deal because the money I already put in there like is gone. Like everything in there after that is all profit. So I'm really not worried about like a Bitcoin crash. In this, like obviously I prefer it not happens. Like I'm fine with the dips because like every time we get to like a huge milestone, we've seen a dip by like 10K. And I'm fine with that because then you can just like buy the dip after that and then wait for it to go back up and make more money. But it's like before like a significant crash, like 80% crash, is something that if it happened today, I would be kind of screwed. But if it which I don't think will happen today because I think like with stimulus checks and everything coming out, I think that'll be a significant boost to like the Bitcoin economy. But it's really something I'm really that worried about. And also like I have a pretty diverse portfolio where only let me think. I think 10% of my money is in cryptocurrency, which obviously that's Bitcoin and Ethereum, although most of that is Bitcoin. So even if Bitcoin does crash, like my overall investment portfolio is still fine, but I would rather it did not. Let's see. Also, Deadpool or Spider-Man? Choose one. Um, Probably Deadpool. Actually, I think the movie Deadpool is significantly funnier than Spider-Man. Although, like the Tobey Maguire series of Spider-Man is still like one of my favorite movies of all time because it's like movies I grew up with. But if I had to pick between Deadpool or Spider-Man, I think Deadpool wins every day. Another question that I got from social media is how do I get clients? So the way I get clients is by basically being told no a lot. Where like essentially what I do is I ask a bunch of people if they will, like I basically reach out to like a bunch of different startups and tell them about my services and tell them like what I can do for them, and a few of them like will say yes, a lot will say no, but I only need like the few that say yes to really like grow a business upon. So I really do think anyone that's like trying to start like, a business that's like B2B, I really think like a big part of it is not caring if you're told no or not. Because if you can go out there and like you can like pitch to all these people, and yeah, like maybe only like a few of them will actually like say yes and like buy what you're selling, but it helps a lot. It's like I've gone to different like subreddits, like the startup subreddit, small business subreddit. I've gone like on different like websites, gone on social media, and I've basically just been like a lot of work finding small businesses, and then like like I cold email them, like tell them about like the services I offer, and then a lot of them buy, a lot of them don't, but you only need like a little bit, to actually convert into customers to actually have like a thriving business, or at least that's like how I found. If you're watching live stream and like have any questions, like anything business related or not business related, just go on the chat and like say something. I do have some questions from Twitter still, so like I still have some questions to go. But if there's any questions that you have, yeah, just type it in the chat. Let's see. My next question is biggest failure. I don't really know. Like, I'm not really sure what my biggest failure would be, or if I really had like that many failures to begin with. There's a lot of like business projects that I started and then didn't actually end up like doing anything with them, or at least anything with them long term, because that's kind of like my fatal flaw in like businesses. There's a lot of like ideas that I have, and then I usually like abandon them when I start getting bored. But it's like when it comes to a lot of it, it's like I think at clothing, like I remember I started a clothing brand like a few weeks ago, like sold some of them. Like it was going pretty well, and then I haven't really touched on that again. And obviously like I plan to like go back and do more work with the clothing brand. But I haven't really done like too much like more with, and there's a lot of like projects I've started that I haven't finished, and that's something that I need to do better on, is actually like keeping up with everything I'm working on. But it's like I have so many different like business ideas that I like starting, and then once I get like bored doing them, I usually bend them, which is one thing that I've really enjoyed about the CWT store, like CWT Business Development, like the podcast, like my blog, is that I've been doing them for an insanely long time, and I still haven't got bored doing it. I still look forward to like every blog post that I make. I still look forward to like every podcast episode that I make. And I think that's something that has been like beneficial, is that like those things like I haven't got bored doing. So I think it's like I really do think it's probably what I'm meant to do and like want to keep doing. But when it comes to failure, I don't think there's anything I've really done that I would say was a failure, because like even if it didn't work out, I still did learn something. I'm trying to like think right now of like something I've done that I think was like a massive. I mean, there was definitely like investments I made that were failures. Probably my biggest failure was investing in like AMC stock when it was at like its all-time high, with the whole like GameStop fiasco was going on. I think I bought one share like $20. I bought a few more shares at $10 when it like fell further, and then it like started like falling even more than that. I think it was down to like $4 at one point. Obviously it went back to $10, and I did break even and like sold like most of my shares. But the share I had at $20, like it's gonna be a long time probably before I get that money back. So I'd say that was probably my biggest failure. But it did also teach me about investing and like getting smarter at that. Let's see. Why did you sell your Bitcoin initially, and what made you buy back in? So when I first bought into Bitcoin, I really didn't know anything about it. Like, I mean, I knew like what it was, I knew what it did, but I didn't invest into it because I thought it was like insanely good. I invested into Bitcoin like originally because I thought it was a cool thing. I thought it would go up, and I thought like for a short term, like for the short term, I'd make some money. So I initially like put money in, and then like in just a few weeks, I managed to like double the first bit of money that I had in there, because it went from like 22K a coin to like 40K a coin in just a few weeks. Like it was amazing. But like through that time, I was reading a book called Bitcoin Billionaires, which got into like a lot of exactly what Bitcoin was and like why it mattered. And then like after like I finished that book, I started reading more and more information about it. So when I like originally got my money, I took all the money out of Bitcoin, and then it dipped again. I think it went to like 36K and like 33K. I'm pretty sure it got even down to like 30K at one point. Like from the like 40, it was that. So with that, I and like all the knowledge I got, like I originally had gotten into it just to like make some money, and then I got back into it not really for the money, but because it was something that I just believed in, like as an actual currency. And that's really it. Like when it comes to like that's really why I got back into it because obviously, I can make more money or not more money, but I can make like safer money doing like other things to invest in. But I really do believe in like Bitcoin as like a store of value. I don't really accept it as a currency yet, at least all the way. I think you will be able to use it as a currency at least somewhat, but I don't think it'll ever be like the world's currency like they're getting, like a lot of Bitcoiners believe in. But I do think it makes a nice store of value, and I think what they're doing is important. I think it's smart to have some money that you're holding that no one else can get to, like no banks, like no government, and just like yours, like you just keep it there. I think that's a smart thing to do. So it's like I do believe in Bitcoin for what it is, which is why I got back into it originally. And I originally like sold it in the first place because I simply just didn't know enough information about the currency, which is not a smart decision. Like when you're investing, you should always like know what you're investing in. But I didn't. Let's see. If anyone watching has any questions, you can put it in the live chat. Otherwise, I'm just going to answer another one from Twitter. Let me look. Why do you use Acorns? So I use Acorns for investing because when I first started investing in the stock market, I didn't really know what to do. It's something I hadn't looked at. I knew it was a smart decision, but I didn't know how to pick out like individual stocks, and I didn't really know like I really just didn't know anything. So I started doing like a bunch of research on like investing, like different investing apps. And obviously there was ones like, like Robinhood where it's like you pick the stocks out yourself, like you buy it, like it's zero trade. And then I found like, Acorns, which with Acorns it's like you invest the money into the app, they manage the money for you, they invest it for you into like, a bunch of different like ETFs and like bonds depending on like your risk portfolio. Mine's all stocks. But it just sounded like a better deal for what it was. So like started doing it. I started, just like putting because at the time I was working in construction, so I was making like, like money like every single week, like like set money. So it's like I was putting that or it's like all the extra I could like into like Megwin's got like building up over time. And now that it's been, like months upon months as this happened, I still have, I use other apps obviously to pick out, stocks that like I'm into because now I'm really into actually like doing research on stocks and picking out, individual stocks I'm looking at. But I try to put money into Acorns every week still because that money, like I know it's very safe for one. Like I know that money's gonna build up. So I'm gonna use it as like, essentially just like a place to like grow my money like that I can count on. And then I'll pick out individual my stocks myself, like with other apps, like invest in those companies. But I just think Acorns is like really safe, and I think they do a really good job of making it easy for everyone to invest. And also like that's really why I do so much like work with them and like getting people to like invest into like the company. It's not really about the app as it's not really about like investing as a whole. I just think it's really good with helping like people learn to invest. I think it's just really good app. Do you have an elevator pitch or brief per se to swell pitch for your business? I actually do. I don't know if I have it uploaded. I might. I think I have it uploaded. But really, like, just like a short like pitch about my business is if you're a startup or small business, you often do not have the ability to do your own marketing because of like time, because of money. If you team up your business with me, I'll grow the small business like through my platforms, and then like in the elevator pitch, I'd get into like my audience, like what it is. And really, like with an elevator pitch, I would mostly just make it where small businesses know the value they're getting. They know the expansion of sales they're getting just by like teaming up and putting it on my affiliate site, and also like teaming up with like my branded platforms. And that's really how I do my elevator pitch. I think I have one. I think I have one somewhere on this YouTube channel. If I do, I can like send it to you. But that's really what like my business is all about. It's finding the small business and turning into like a huge company. And really the way that I'm doing that is by having, first off, I have my marketing page where it's like I'm using my social medias to gain like massive traction to the marketing page. And on the marketing page, it's like you'll see your business, a bunch of other businesses, and people are coming for all these different businesses. But what we're seeing is instead of just going to that business on their page, they're also interacting with other businesses, buying from like other companies. So just by putting your business on like the CWT store, you are basically getting interaction from all these different people and all these, and like not only your ideal target market through the social media work that I'm doing, but you're just getting like different like traction and like awareness as a whole. And then also like through my social media work, through like my content that I'm making, the businesses that are teamed up with me are getting like perfect target market connection. Because what I do is like I make like Instagram posts like on the CWT store Instagram. Let me pull it up real quick. That's actually an Instagram page like I do like most of my promos on. But it's like on the CWT store Instagram, I basically have like the best hashtags that I can find to grow, a particular business. And like through that, it's like what I'm doing is I'm collecting the data on like each hashtag to see like how many people are interacting with the post because of that hashtag. And I'm basically able like over time to find like the best hashtags for like startup growth. Like as you can see on like the CWT store, like Instagram, like I have different like promotional images for each business on the actual CWT store. And I'm using this, I'm using a bunch of different other social medias, and I'm using like different other content to grow them. So like I actually forgot the question. But yeah, back to like the elevator pitch. Like what I would do is, and I'm pretty sure I have one on this channel, but in like 6 seconds or less, I would explain exactly how like the social media works, how the CWT store works, and like the value of putting the business from like all these new customers like through me and through my business would be for them. Like you see like right here, this is like, the CWT store on mobile, which I prefer. But it's like, we have all these different like businesses. So let's say I make an Instagram post for, let's see, Vibe Lights, right? It's like someone would go on the CWT store, they would interact with Vibe Lights, they'd scroll, like learn about it, and then like hopefully they would buy from it like from the website. But also like while going to Vibe Lights and like looking at the pages, they would also see like all the other businesses we work with, and they would see like Trex Golf, right? So then if they're also like into golf or like even like investing or just like earning extra money through like swag bucks, like they would click on that and then read it. So now Trex Golf is getting another customer from advertising work that I'm doing for Vibe Lights just because they're on the actual website. And I think that's really the value behind the store that I'm seeing, and also like why I think it's become like such a valuable thing to so many like small business owners is because I'm doing tons of work advertising, the particular small business on the CWT branded platforms. But also just from being on the CWT store itself, which is where I'm like, pointing all the traffic to, they're getting customers from all the other businesses on there too. So like everything's really working together to make each business as successful as possible. And I think that's like super, super exciting work. So if y'all want to see, kind of like some of the like businesses I'm working with right now, I can link the store. Let's see. .com. All right, so then you can like go there and like see some like the companies that we work with and like really how I like set up like the store in general. But it's like, as you can see, like while being on there, you can see like how it would work. Where I'm actually gonna pull it up. Actually, I don't make that mess with live stream. But you can see how it works. Where you interact with like one business, you see all the others, and you can see like how many people we're working with. Like I really like the store because almost every company on here is a small business, just like someone that like had a business idea like online, like starting a business, like don't have much money, don't have much time, but it's like they're getting like all this advertising and all this expansion just from being like on this website. Obviously not all of them are small businesses, like some of them are actually like pretty established but have really good referral programs, but it's getting to the point where they're all going to be small businesses. And I think the CWT store is honestly going to like revolutionize how we do or like how small businesses grow. But yeah, like I think it's really like fascinating work, and I'm really like excited to be doing it and to be doing all this advertising work, because honestly it's like, and the reason affiliate marketing is so important like to me is because I love marketing, I love sales. That's really it. So it's like while there's an actual like company doing that, like manufacturing, accounting, like all that work, and all I'm doing is just like marketing the products and selling them. And it's like I'm getting like a nice percentage for doing so, and it works pretty perfectly. But also, if you're still watching the live stream, I'm actually giving a presentation. It'll be on my YouTube channel, but it's like I'm giving a presentation to a business club at the college I go to about my affiliate marketing store. And if anyone wants to learn more about it, I am going to upload to YouTube, but it's going to be like a small like 15-minute presentation on what like my affiliate store is, like what it does, and it's actually going to be pretty interesting. So if you're interested in that, I would definitely like subscribe to the channel so you can watch the like the presentation that I'm doing for the business club. Let's see. I think I have another question from here. Also, if there's any more questions that you have, make sure to put them in the chat because I'm trying to answer as many questions as possible. I'm running out of Twitter ones. But they want to know, do I invest in Dogecoin? So I don't know actually. Like I know I did invest in Dogecoin at one point. It was really like back when Dogecoin was at I think it was just under 1 cent a coin. Like I put just like a few dollars in there, and like I kind of wanted to like just see what happened. So I invested in there, on the Dogecoin, like on Robinhood, which I don't use Robinhood for investing like at all, but I use their referral program where if you get someone to sign up, you get a free stock. So I've done like a lot of like even though I don't really use Robinhood, I've promoted them before and got like some people to sign up. So I have money in Robinhood, even though I've never put money in Robinhood, I have it just from like the free stocks that like I've done. But when it comes to like, so I bought Dogecoin on that like back when it was less than a cent, and I don't know if I still have it or not actually. Like I know I sold most of it, but I don't know if I know I sold most of it, like actually, unfortunately, before all the Elon Musk stuff happened, so I didn't get as big as it would. And I thought I had sold all of it since then. But what I did was, now that with the whole GameStop thing, like after they like restricted trade, I really decided not to use like Robinhood anymore. But I didn't want to take the money out of the account because I don't want to let my bank account do Robinhood. So what I did is I took all the money I've made like on Robinhood and just like threw in a bunch of different things and then deleted the app. And I'm not going to check the app again for another year. So I might still have Dogecoin. I might not. I really will not know until a year has gone by when I finally check my Robinhood again. I mean, I only have a little bit of money in Robinhood anyway. It's like, keep in mind, it's all just from like, signing people up some stocks, like free money, really. But it's like, yeah, so in a year, I'm going to check that again and see like how much it's grown. And maybe I own Dogecoin, maybe I don't. But I will say that I hope I don't own like Dogecoin because I don't think it's. I mean, I think it's a pretty like I think it can be a good investment if people keep like the attention going and like keep like Elon Musk talking about it and keep it as something that is like keep it as something like constantly in like the public eye because that's really how it works. Like there's so many of these like coins in Dogecoin that the only way it could ever reach like significant money is if people put more money into Dogecoin than any like stock on the market or any other like crypto on the market. And I really just don't see that happening. So I don't really see it as like a good long-term investment. I think it's fun and I think it's a good short-term investment, but I would prefer if I didn't own any or at least not anymore. But yeah, if anyone else has any questions, like let me know in the chat. I don't really have any more on Twitter, so it's like I might go ahead and end it unless someone else has any questions. But really, like that's kind of it when it comes to cryptocurrency. I love Bitcoin. I have like a lot of faith in Bitcoin, and I think Bitcoin is going to be very impactful, like in the next few years. I have Ethereum also because I think Ethereum is also going to be very impactful the next few years. And then also as this whole like NFT market is growing, which uses the Ethereum blockchain as payment, I think as all that, starts growing. And now that also, Ethereum is now starting to be like a limited market cap as well. I really think Ethereum could be an insanely good like long-term investment along with Bitcoin. So I have a lot of money in Bitcoin, I have a lot of money in Ethereum, and I'm going to keep that money in there for a very long time. But when it comes to Dogecoin, I'm not putting anything in it or any of the other coins really. Have you started looking at NFTs, non-fungible tokens? Um, I haven't bought any, but I have looked at them actually. So really, like when it comes to that, I do think it's a good idea, and I do think it's something that's going to go for the long term. And actually, when I really started getting into NFTs is when so Jack Dorsey, who's the Twitter CEO, sent the first ever tweet ever on Twitter, right? So before, like when he first launched Twitter, he sent a tweet saying, just set up my Twitter, and it was the first tweet that's ever been released on the platform, and he sold that as an NFT for, I believe it was over, like it was $2 to $3 million, and that's when I really started like getting into it and like looking into them. But with NFTs, what I think is like most important about it and what most concerns me with it is that they use the Ethereum blockchain to like as currency. So as NFTs become more and more popular, I believe Ethereum as a cryptocurrency will become more and more popular as well. And I think it'll continue to like grow in value because of that. So even though I haven't bought any NFTs because I don't understand NFTs enough to actually get into it, or like financially. Like obviously, like I'm invested like mentally into it, but I don't have enough money to actually get into it like financially, but I do have the money to invest in Ethereum. So since I think Ethereum and NFTs will become more and more popular like together and become more and more valuable together, I'm investing in Ethereum because I think NFTs are going to be a significant boost to it. So let's keep looking into there. Like I think it's such an interesting idea to like pay for like digital art essentially. Like it's something that like I've never even like considered being possible, but I think it's proved that there's a huge market for it, and it's like these people that have like massive amounts of Ethereum that are looking for something to actually do with it. Like it makes sense that like NFTs are like growing that fast because it's just something to actually like do with all the Ethereum. So I really do think NFTs are becoming more and more important. And what I'm really interested in is how it's going to go in like the long term, right? Like people are paying, like millions upon millions for a lot of this like art. And I was looking at like some stuff that was like I remember this one thing that was like like they spent like $400,000 on it. And it's like, while that's a lot of money now, I really wonder what that's going to be worth in the next like, 10 years. Like if it gets to the like I think I was talking about this like the other day, but I think in like 10 years, we're going to see like, these millions of dollars turn to like, tens of millions of dollars in value. And that's really what I'm interested in concerning NFTs. I think it's not about, it's not about paying for them now. I think it's about like how much you can actually like sell it for in the future. Like if you can use like the digital art as an investment that'll like increase in value over time, like regular art, it really does makes like I think it makes the market a lot more valuable. But that's something I want to start looking into a lot more. But because it uses Ethereum, like really most of my like NFT knowledge has made me buy Ethereum instead of like any like particular like digital asset. Mostly because like a lot of the NFTs, just, like it's a very expensive market to be in, at least in my opinion. But no, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how that all develops, and I do find it like extremely interesting. I think that's really all for like this live stream. It's actually a lot of fun. I'll probably be going live very soon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and also like turn on the notification bell so you can see next time I go live. Thank you for watching the stream, and bye.